There's so many exciting things coming between just updates to existing products that I'm excited about, or brand new product categories. And
it seems like we're getting past past event season, past like the pre-WWDC event season. But it also seems like too much to cram into WWDC, or maybe just all the rumors are wrong and there's actually not that much stuff coming out.
yeah, Apple's actually struggling, and they've got like an iMac update, and that's it.
And it's an
Yeah.
Intel iMac.
You're right. We're way past normal. Apple hasn't done an event like between March and the June WWDC in like 10 years or something. Usually March is the cutoff for whether they're going to do something in the spring.
Yeah, it's encroaching on that time, but there's just so much stuff. It's too much for one conference, for sure. One developer conference especially.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They definitely need to do something. They've got iPads that are a little long in the tooth and a whole lineup of computers that still need updated. So they need to get on that.
Apple TV news.
Oh, man. Yeah. Hopefully.
AirPods, AirTags.
Those sound like, not AirTags, but the AirPods sound like they're going to be delayed again. Or at least rumors are now starting to point towards we might not see AirPods 3 until the fall.
Oh, really? I wouldn't be too surprised since they did just release AirPods Max.
And they're perfectly good headphones. There's not a lot you could do to add on to them.
No, I got a few things on my wish list, but yeah, in their current state, they're perfectly fine.
Right.
You know, I was thinking last night, maybe they're going to do like a week of announcements leading up to WWDC, and it's going to be like this massive week that culminates in the keynote and the State of the Union and all that stuff. But leading up to it, you get like Monday AirPods, Tuesday iPad Pros, Wednesday iMacs, something like that.
That would be a lot of fun. I wonder if they would worry about stepping on their own toes with all of that, though.
But they keep the news cycle like burning at 100% for about Apple. It'll be for like a full week and a half probably.
Yeah, as I say already, the news cycles are usually already at 100% Apple for the week of WWDC.
My news cycle is always 100% Apple.
Yeah, that's true. Me too.
Let's see, what subreddits am I subscribed to? Apple and iPhone. That's all.
That's it.
And I've got a few favorited in Apollo just for those odd moments when I'm over Apple News.
You have some photography things or something?
Exactly, yeah, that's it.
There you go. Probably not immediately, but in the coming months, figure out how we want to finagle our recording schedule to fit the week of WWDC, because it's an off week for us.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And there'll be some coordinating with Christian involved for that as well.
Is he on board?
Yeah, I got him to commit to being on this year's episode with us like 3 or 4 months ago already. So.
Oh, wow. Are you just like in a constant chat with him about things?
Yeah. Christian and I are actually best friends now. So your days on the podcast are actually numbered. He's going to be replacing you soon.
Well, I can't really compete with Christian. He's just too cool a person to compete with, really.
Yeah, where's your award-winning iPhone app?
It's in the pipeline.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I'm actually calling it Mercury, and it's a thermometer app. There we go.
Perfect.
I'm going to undercut Apollo.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of overlap between those two things.
Mm-hmm. There's probably a better joke in there somewhere.
Well, people don't download Apollo for the Reddit client. They download it because they want, there's a market for apps named after Greek gods, and so you can cannibalize that market.
Thanks. I was actually thinking space programs, not Greek gods, but yeah. Okay.
Same thing.
Okay. Same thing. Everything's in the sky.
That's right.
What space program came after Apollo? It was just a space shuttle program, wasn't it? Did it have a name though?
I don't know. I am very illiterate when it comes to space programs. I think I revealed in the show at some point in the last couple years that I only had learned recently that we had been to the moon multiple times.
That's right.
Yeah.
Haven't you been watching For All Mankind?
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I only watched a few as well. So I don't even know if that... No, I'm pretty sure they went to the moon a few times in that.
Oh, yeah?
Not that that was any sort of historical documentary.
Well, that's my problem, is that's the exact kind of show I get all of my historical information from.
Yep. Apollo 13, Armageddon. It's all true to life.
Spaceballs. That's my main one.
Spaceballs, yep. Never seen that myself.
Oh, really? It's quite good.
Yeah?
I like it, at least.
Did you hear that the original Space Jam website's now gone?
Of all times to take it down right before the remake comes out?
No, because it redirects to the remake now.
That's terrible.
It's sad. Yeah, they should have maybe just like put the old one in an iframe and then had like a link to the new one below, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. There's very few websites that you can find that are like the web 1.0 days.
Yeah. I'm downloading Spaceballs right now. 1987, that's a good year. The year I was born.
Yeah. 1987 on March 29th? Is that your birthday?
April the 2nd.
April 2nd. Okay. Dang it. I should have opened my calendar before speaking.
And I have to say that I noted the time that you sent through my little birthday video present was exactly 12 a.m. on the 2nd of April.
That's right. Let's leave it at exactly that and just say that I send you special birthday videos in the middle of the night.
Say no more? That's going to be super weird to listen to.
You could say whatever you want.
It was an amazing... I don't even know what... It's probably got a term. It was
a multi-track.
A multi-track a cappella. Is that also the right term?
Yep.
Of David, of you singing Happy Birthday to me in like different tones or something. Different tones, is that the right word?
Different voicings. Different parts. It was a 4-part.
But all harmonized though, of course.
As well as I can. Trying to sing
pretty good to me.
Those higher parts is not really in my wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, sounded pretty good to me.
Oh,
I watched it a ton of times to try and work out like which part of the video was which part of the audio.
Yeah.
I could not work it out. It's really tricky. Yeah.
Well, you want to know the secret?
Yeah, sure.
None of them. I recorded 4 takes of me lip syncing after I recorded the audio.
No wonder. That's pretty funny. I'll have to tell Yasmin that.
It's too hard to record video and audio at the same time with at least the setup I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did the audio first. I actually didn't even think about doing video initially. I was just going to record audio. And then I wanted to put my skimmer hat on, so I had to make it a video.
Did you sync it with the computer or just like line up the waveforms? Because I didn't notice at all.
I just lined up the waveforms.
Well done.
Thank you.
I showed my whole family as well.
Oh no. You've got some like talented musicians in your family. That's very intimidating.
None of them are in town, don't worry.
Oh, okay. You just showed your untalented family members.
Yeah. That's what I refer to them as now. My untalented family was in town.
Well, I saw you were putting the show notes together like seconds before I joined the call.
Well, it's been an ongoing process. It kind of is now an ongoing process. I used to leave it until like the night before and then look at whatever the top topics were, but I tend to just do it on the fly as I read news during the week now. But come like this morning, I was actually deleting one of the 3 topics that were there because it wasn't really news anymore. So we're getting a bit light on topics. But then thankfully someone found a little thing in the latest TV OS beta code to talk about. So I just bunged that one in there. So now at least we've got 4 topics now. So yeah, no pre-show, no post-show.
We can stretch it out.
I'm sure we can. We've already been going 9 minutes or so about nothing really.
Wow. That's how you feel about your birthday present, huh?
It's been a good pre-show. In other news, my left arm is in a cast because I broke my hand since we last spoke.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I was just pushing down on something with my thumb and it suddenly gave way, and the shock of that actually broke the bone underneath my pinky finger.
Wow.
Yeah, good times.
Getting old and brittle.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. Hit 34. Started breaking bones. No, it wasn't quite as straightforward as that. I actually had that accident about a month ago, but it wasn't until the weekend when I kind of, not fell over, but kind of overbalanced and braced against that hand. And for just a brace against the hand, it was incredibly painful. So I thought, something's wrong. Not even remembering that I'd done this thing a month ago. And my sister, who's a GP, said, like, you don't really want to just leave your hand bones if there's something wrong. Like, unlike feet bones, where you just ignore them and they get better, you should really get hand bones looked at. So went off to get an X-ray, and yeah, lo and behold, the bone was broken.
Okay, so at least it's not bothering you too much in your day-to-day then, though. Only when you hit it against something it hurts.
Well, it wasn't, but now it's in a cast. It is. Because it's so inconvenient. Thankfully, it's my left hand, so I can still do a lot. But yeah, man, is it just inconvenient to only have one arm and hand to do things with.
Have you figured out a way to type?
I use the voice to text built into macOS. It's actually pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
I tried even the voice control, but yeah, I haven't been able to really get the hang of it. They demoed it, I think, maybe 2 WWDCs ago, and it looked like really good and powerful, but as far as I can tell, there are some holes that make it not usable. But like sometimes you can be navigating around and then you get a menu and then it just doesn't have any action that you can complete in that menu.
Well, that's when you use the grid.
Oh, there's a grid. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play with it more. But,
yeah,
I still have my right hand, so I can use a mouse still. So it's not that critical. It's mostly just the typing that's a pain in the ass.
Right. I suppose, speech to text would work pretty well for most cases. When I think about typing, I immediately think about writing code, and that would be very hard to dictate to a computer.
Oh, I cannot even imagine how you'd do that.
Yeah, because a lot of things you want it to do aren't actually words, or there's just a lot of symbols. So I guess you'd have to spell out every character you'd want it to type. Yeah,
possibly. And things you type all the time are just such long words like parentheses, open parentheses, close. I can't even say it twice in a row.
Huh.
Yeah, but people do it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just slower, I guess. Just how I'm finding day-to-day life is at the moment. It's just slower. Like, you just do less stuff and do what you're doing at a slower pace, which is nice in some respects.
How long do you have to wear the cast?
Only 2 to 3 weeks, thankfully, because if I'd picked it up straight away, I'd have it in a cast for 6 weeks, but because it had already been going through a healing process for 4 weeks, and it's just 2 or 3 left.
So it wasn't healing wrong and they had to re-break it so it'd heal right?
No. The doctor suggested that could happen, and then he was looking at the x-ray and he was like, it's all right. Which is slightly disconcerting.
I'll take it's all right over we're gonna have to break your hand even more.
True. That's probably the recourse for an incorrectly healed bone, isn't it? Re-break it. Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a very small follow-up topic on cancelling Apple Music. So Apple Music has expired on me now.
Okay.
And so I'm living the pirated music lifestyle. The only thing I'm really and truly missing so far, which I hadn't considered, we didn't discuss, is that you don't get the lyrics in pirated music. So
okay. Is that something you use a lot?
Yeah, well, apparently, because I'm always trying to click the lyrics button and you can't click it anymore. Yeah.
Huh.
Besides that, it's been quite all right.
Have you solved the problem of how you're going to directly fund artists yet?
I'm just going to A, look for the music on Bandcamp, and B, try and buy something directly from their website, whatever form that takes. That if it's music, it's probably going to be the best way of them not having to spend any money to get it to me. It'll just be like minor hosting costs. Whereas if I had to buy a T-shirt, if they've got to pay for the T-shirt to be produced. So yeah, just the most direct way possible that I can find. That's also not bother them for like a PayPal address and send it that way, because I don't know, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I hope that goes well for you and you don't run into any more issues short of no lyrics.
Yeah, I'm still considering experimental phase, so yeah.
Okay. There has to be ways to get lyrics.
Yeah, but you can just like copy and paste lyrics into the metadata, but they wouldn't sync with the music.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So it's barely worth the effort.
What do you use the lyrics for? Do you like to sing them at karaoke or something?
Yeah, to sing along.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Or just to find out what the lyrics are, because I'm terrible at understanding lyrics in songs.
Oh, yeah. I'm the same way.
I think a lot of people are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, mostly sing along. Oops.
Have you tried your CarPlay anymore? Have you completely given up on that?
I've given up on that.
Oh, man.
I do intend to give it another shot once the final release of 14.5 is out.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I love Bluetooth. It's great. Actually, one upside to Bluetooth that I didn't even mention in the list the other week when I was talking about it is that I can now use screen time again. So that's another big benefit.
Oh, yeah.
Since CarPlay is not racking up those minutes.
I was going through the settings on my car the other day, and I saw something that I wasn't sure it was going to help you with your problem, but if you go into like your CarPlay settings, there's a toggle for automatically open the phone when it's plugged in, and I had that turned on. I'm not sure if that would help if you had it on or if it's already on for you, but
I've got that on. Yeah, it's like the one and only setting in the Ford Sync app for CarPlay. Yeah, no, I checked it. It's turned on.
Okay. Also, I had a second thought. I don't know if it's just me, but lightning cables in my car always end up getting ruined. Like the pins on the end start to corrode, and then they either don't make a connection with my phone or they short with each other. And so I do have to periodically switch cables. And so I was wondering if maybe your cable was just finicky.
I actually had bought a brand new 1-foot cable just for the car. So it went from the box to the car. So it's not that either.
All right. That's all I got.
All right. Let's wait until 14.5 is officially released, and then I'll have another crack at it.
All right.
It could even be a situation that Bluetooth plus CarPlay is a good combo, like to have the phone connected with both. I considered that, so that when CarPlay doesn't kick in, then you've still got Bluetooth.
Okay. Man, I would be lost without my CarPlay. I like it so much. I'm really disappointed it didn't work out for you after years of me evangelizing it on this podcast.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for it for so long as well.
Yeah.
I haven't actually asked Yasmin if hers acts up. Although she doesn't She typically just listens to FM radio, so maybe if it did, she wouldn't even notice.
Like, does her phone work in your car, or does she also have a car with CarPlay?
Oh, we share the one car.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I should probably check with her.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
WWDC was announced since we last spoke.
Yeah.
Was this an early announcement?
Actually, it was a little late.
It was announced on the 1st of April, roughly, or maybe the 31st of March.
Yeah, it was right at the end of March. I think was a few days, or maybe even up to a week later than they usually announce it. So not super late, but enough that people were starting to wonder.
Wonder what, if it was going to go ahead. It was pretty inevitable.
Yeah, I think everyone knew WWDC was going to happen, but we're also pretty sure that it was going to be another virtual one. And so people were wondering if maybe Apple wouldn't bother to announce it months in advance because no one has to reserve hotels or plan trips.
Just a 1 week notice.
Yeah. Or even just a 1 month or something.
I'm a little bit disappointed that it's going to just be one of these pre-recorded things again. There's something cool about, watching something that's live. Kind of like when you're watching live sport. It's better than watching the replay of the same game, even if you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Even if no one's spoiled it for you. But there's something just a little bit more special, like sugar on top, watching them come out on the stage live. Saying that, I've not sure when I watched the last one live. I think I've always watched them a couple of hours delayed now. So, but when I can pull myself out of bed at 1 a.m., it's really good.
It's the highlight of my day, yeah. But their videos have been so polished over the last year that I don't miss, the 30 minutes of random game studios giving us the demo of whatever they're working on. So I'm kind of okay with it. And I really like that it's not only is the keynote event a video, but with WWDC as a whole being online, it opens it up to everyone. There's no registration fees. There's no, if you can get to California, then you can attend. It's just any Apple developer can tune into the sessions and call into the meetings with the engineers. And I think that's a real win for the community as a whole. And I hope that they're able to keep that in some form, even when they do have in-person conferences again.
I even heard that the labs, which, developers talking directly to Apple engineers, I expected that last year, because it was online, that it would just be like hammered with people from all over the world trying to, get the ear of an Apple engineer. Mm-hmm. But apparently even last year when it was online, they were like trying to get people to come in quotes, because it wasn't all that busy. So yeah, to have, someone in Ireland or Finland or some remote place that pops to my mind, just being able to talk directly to an Apple engineer is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an awesome opportunity. And I'm not actually super familiar with the labs they do at WWDC. I usually tune into a couple of the big ones, but I know they can get pretty fine-grained, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's some real nitty-gritty stuff that not many people are interested in and ends up not having the attendance they were hoping for.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about what exactly is the lab format. So I've definitely watched presentations by Apple developers who, it's still like in a theater.
Right.
And it's just on a very specific topic like Siri Intense, and they're demoing it. Is that a lab, or is that something different?
I think that's slightly different. My understanding of a lab is that there's a little bit more back and forth. It's not just a presentation. But yeah, I don't think I've actually ever attended something that would be called a lab. I've just done those smaller sessions as well.
Well, how could have you before last year anyway?
I mean, maybe I go to WWDC every year.
Maybe you do, but I think you would have told me.
Yeah, I would never stop talking about that if I got to go.
Yeah.
to Apple's campus.
Remember that 1 year? There was a lot of furor about the artwork for WWDC, and I'm sure people have already heard this topic to the death. But just having app icons reflected in everyone wearing glasses, Memoji wearing glasses. There's a lot of talk about it. Maybe AR glasses are coming to this WWDC, but I think that seems pretty unlikely. And it's literally just a take on Craig opening the M1 MacBook at their last presentation.
I mean, I'm a little optimistic, but I think it's just because I really want to see an Apple AR headset. As far as the actual AR glasses, as far as we can tell from the rumors that have been coming out most recently, those are still 2, 3, 4 years out still. But there has been rumblings about this like hybrid AR, VR, more of like an Oculus style headset that Apple's working on. And the most recent rumors have been saying anywhere between the end of this year and sometime next year we'll see it. And if that's true, this would be the WWDC where they would get people to start working on apps for it. But I don't know how they want to unveil that. I feel like that's something they'd want to do in person where people can actually like experience it. That's a very interactive thing that'd be hard to show over video. And it's not like every new product category has to be unveiled to developers first. The Apple Watch was unveiled in September before it came out in January. So I'm not expecting it, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I guess we can be hopeful. Tim Cook is still beating the AR as a future drum. I think he did an interview a couple of days ago or a week or two ago. And that was still his line. It seems like that's been his line for like half a decade now.
Right, yeah. It sure seems like the company's got some grand vision for the future, and they're just waiting for technology to catch up so they can actually make it real.
I bloody hope so. Otherwise, there's been a lot of talk for nothing.
Just to distract people. They do these really on-the-nose press images with the AR-looking glasses, and they have Tim Cook do interviews saying that AR is the future just so that Samsung is distracted.
Samsung's committed 90% of the engineering to AR. All a futile attempt to compete with Apple, who are not doing anything with AR.
Yep.
There's also a catchphrase or like a title, but I can't find it now to repeat it. Do you remember what it is?
It was Glow and Behold.
Glow and Behold, right. Which is also, I think, just commenting on that funny moment when Craig opened the M1 Mac. And his face glowed with delight and pleasure.
Yeah, that's pretty fun that they're writing the meme. I will say, there's this laptop that's being opened. There's just like the slightest hint of an Apple logo on the lid. It's mostly cut off, but it looks almost glowing.
I must be looking at some different artwork. Let me try and find it.
The one I'm looking at is at the top of the 9 to 5 Mac article about the announcement.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at too. I don't see any glow.
You don't see the logo? On a very black back of a laptop, there's a light-colored logo, just like the leaf sticking out from the edge frame.
Okay. Even at maximum brightness, I did not see anything there, but I've just opened up the Apple developer website, which has an almost identical graphic, but instead with a chick with red hair. And I do see what you're talking about, but I would not say it's glowing. I'd say it's reflecting.
Okay. Yeah, this one on the Apple developer website has more of the image.
It's got the top edge of the laptop.
Right, yeah. And it is obviously not glowing in this image. The other one looked like it could be, but you're right. Never mind.
That's glowing. So weird that I don't even see it, though.
I mean, I'm viewing this on an ultra-fine display, so that's probably what it is.
I'm viewing it on an Apple-calibrated MacBook Pro.
Is it? I don't know. I'm trying to move this window around in a way that I can't see, but On my MacBook Pro, I can still see it just fine.
Are you saying my screen needs to be bigger? It hasn't increased the size of the image.
I don't think so. The image resizes. So, anyway.
So June 7. June 7's the date, by the way.
So, we're definitely going to see some new operating systems. Like, whether we see new hardware or not. We'll see iOS 15 and I guess macOS 12. I think they might be doing big version bumps from now on.
I think so. Well, they've been going, 11.0, 11.1, 11.2.
Right,
so.
Yeah. We're not going to get a decade plus of macOS 11 like we did OS 10. But do you have
I don't. Yeah.
I was going to ask if you do you have a wish list for iOS 15 or iPad OS 15?
For iOS 15, well, I don't have an iPad at the moment, so I don't really have a wish list there. I might say for iPad OS though, like dual booting Mac OS, just so I could have an iPad hardware but have have Mac OS on there.
Right.
I would love for AirPods to work better. I would love them just to connect better, but I don't know if that's really like a iOS thing or an AirPod firmware thing or just a Bluetooth thing. I don't have that many quibbles. Is that the word? I don't have that many issues with iOS. You give me yours while I have a think.
Actually, that was the same boat I found myself in today when I was thinking about it. Is I think my iPhone is pretty great as it is. Mm-hmm. And everything that I thought about wanting were things for my iPad. And I guess dual booting macOS would maybe solve most of them. I'd be interested to see how that works. But things like I'm still waiting on some version of Xcode on the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a game changer for me. I think they can do. I want to see widgets in a usable way on the iPad and not just in the sidebar. I want to be able to rearrange my home screen.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a mock-up of a potential future version of iPad OS that treated your home screen more like a desktop. So that you could have your applications on there, but you could also take files, I guess, from the Files app and put them on there, and you can have direct access to them. And I thought that was a cool concept and made the iPad feel more like a computer. If I could put folders just from my file system on that home screen, I think that would be super helpful for me, because there's a couple specific folders I'm always opening, and I've always got to navigate. I dig down into my directories to find it. I would love to have links to those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
the Files app itself is just atrocious. It needs a lot of work.
Let's get rid of Files and just bring Finder to the iPad.
Finder to the iPad.
So I guess what I'm saying is I want macOS on the iPad.
Right. Solves all these problems.
Yeah.
So another thing for iPad OS is that it needs better multitasking. So often when you're executing like a long process, I'm thinking like maybe exporting this podcast from Ferrite or like importing tons of photos into Lightroom. You can't really do anything with the iPad while it's doing that. So I found that like a major downside to using the iPad as opposed to a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can like bring slide over windows and stuff, but it's not really the same. It's pretty janky to be stuck doing things in a slide over window just because Ferrite's still got 10 minutes of exporting to go. Like you would never have that issue on a Mac. You could just, Alt Tab, Command Tab away and get on with whatever else you want. And then, because I've got an Intel Mac, you can't hear anything because the fans are at 300%. But that's besides the point.
Right. Yeah. That and just like the experience of multitasking on an iPad is still unintuitive to me. I have multiple instances, especially in the I don't remember what this is called, the view where the window is floating above whatever your main application is. So not split view. but slide over, I think.
Slide over.
Yeah. Where especially now that we've gotten to the swipe interface, and so you've got a swipe bar at the top and a swipe bar at the bottom, and I can never remember which one is going to switch apps on me and which one's actually going to make it go away. And those gestures are very unintuitive to me.
Whenever I've seen someone who's not an iPad enthusiast, trying to use multitasking, it's usually because they've gotten there by mistake and they don't know how to get out of it. So obviously that's just a failure in UI. When people get into that position where they don't know what's going on with their windows. And I'm talking like, I've seen all ages, from my 3-year-old to my mum and everyone in between, getting annoyed because they're trying to do something and a window slides over what they're doing and they don't know what's going on.
Right. Yeah. There needs to be, I don't know, there's just no visual cues at all on how you multitask. If someone got a brand new iPad, they would have no idea how to do that.
Doesn't it tell you in the intro though, like the setup screens?
Yeah, I guess I'm assuming that you either skip past that or you're just handed a setup iPad. But yeah, I don't know what the solution is. That's tricky, but I think that Apple hasn't found it yet.
No, I don't think they have. Well, they found it on the Mac. It's just called like Windows.
Yeah, just bring Windows
Discovered
to iPad.
by Fuji Xerox or whatever they were called in 1970, whatever.
Yeah, at Park.
Yeah. Just trying to think what else I would want for my phone though. Yeah, here's probably my last one is text selection and copy and paste. I think that could use if they just put it back to how it was before the current system, I'd be happier than right now.
Right, just bring the magnifying glass back.
Yeah, please bring it back.
So, yeah, I've lost hope at ever being able to accurately select. I mean, the problem is this. It's twofold, because the magnifying glass was great for the first, 7 or 8 years of the iPhone. And the iPhone 6S came out. And actually, I don't know if 6S introduced Force Touch, but I don't remember if that was the same time they introduced using the keyboard as a trackpad to select text. But that eliminated the need.
Remember.
That eliminated the need for the magnifying glass in most cases, because you could get really accurate with your text selection there. But then they got rid of the magnifying glass and they got rid of 3D touch, and it's suddenly miserable to select text because all of the convenient ways to do it are gone. And so you're either trying to copy what's directly under your finger and you can't tell what's selected, or you're still using the keyboard trackpad, but now it requires 2 fingers because you got to have one to move the cursor and one to tap to start and stop selections.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, so you have to start from the space bar. If you hold the space bar, then you get the cursor up still, and you can move it around.
That much. But then what? You can tap with your other hand and start selecting.
Yeah, so if you're like holding it if you're like typing with your thumbs, then you can just tap with the second thumb, and that'll start and stop selecting.
Okay.
But yeah, way less intuitive than just press, a little deeper.
And I would love for them to put just the copy or cut and paste buttons above the keyboard. Like they do not have to be hidden in a pop-up like context menu. Like, there's so much space on the screen now. Like, even at the bottom of the screen, like next to the keyboard switcher or anywhere like that.
There's gestures for all that now.
Yeah, right. They're awful though.
They are very bad.
The three fingers out and in.
The pick up and drop.
Pick up and drop.
Yeah.
Cool in a demo.
Right. Yeah. It's not practical, especially on a small phone screen.
Yeah, I'm talking iPhone mini, operating it with one hand like 90% of the time.
Oh,
like, how am I ever
impossible.
going to get 3 fingers on the screen?
Right. You're supposed to use your nose for one of the fingers.
There's some. I think this is a fake Twitter account, but was it a fake Craig Federighi said like people who use their nose on their Apple Watch deserve a place in hell or something like that. It's probably the same when it comes to phone gestures. If you're using your nose as one of the digits.
Yeah, okay. Did you see Apple's working on, this is just a patent that patently Apple or someone else picked up in the last couple weeks. A way to control the Apple Watch by blowing on it.
Yeah, I didn't even click on the article because it sounded like a bit of nonsense. Like if it comes out as a patent, my opinion is it's not going to come out as an actual feature.
Right.
But was there anything to it?
No, my extent of my understanding starts and stops with my last sentence because I also just saw the picture of the patent and didn't read the article. So,
have a guess. What do you think you would do?
The most basic one, and I don't know. I don't know if I wish I would have read the patent now. But if you had like a microphone on either side of the Apple Watch, and so you could blow across it in one direction or the other to like do directional stuff, for like very basic selections or things like that. That's my best guess.
What are you talking about? Is this like an accessibility feature or for everyone?
I imagine accessibility, but I don't know. Imagine any situation you use your nose, like you've got your hands full or there's gloves on and you can't interact with the Apple Watch, so you just blow across it to dismiss something or to delete. I don't even know what interactions you'd want to do, but
maybe it enacts the press of the home button.
Ah, yes, the famous Apple Watch home button.
The digital crown.
That seems very unpractical, though, because what do? You pull up the app grid, and then what, though?
No, at any time where you needed to press the crown and you couldn't, you could just blow on the watch, and it would do the same thing, complete that action.
Well, if the watch... the watch is really bad at even telling when I'm washing my hands, so I don't think it'll be able to accurately say when it's just windy outside or I'm blowing on the watch.
Apple Arcade has expanded hugely all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So they've added timeless classics and App Store greats. So a lot of games just from like the standard App Store have been re-released as Plus games. So like, just to think of some titles, like chess. So before you search chess and there was like the chess app. But now you'll see the same app with the same icon and the same description, except it'll say Chess Plus, and it's an Apple Arcade version. And so they've stripped away things like in-app purchases and subscriptions, and obviously you don't have to pay for it up front because it's part of your Apple Arcade subscription. So the catalog is more than 180 games now. I can't remember exactly how many have been added as part of this update, but I kind of got stuck on the Oregon Trail. That was the first one I saw, and I have not re-looked in Apple Arcade since then because I've just been so hooked.
This was brand new news to me as of tonight. I saw this press announcement a few days ago, and just blew it off. I'm like, okay, Apple's just bragging they have 180 games in arcade now. I'm still not interested in anything. But actually reading this press release prior to the show, the fact that they're bringing in classic games is really appealing to me. Like Oregon Trail, not appealing. But go down a few more entries, they've got crossword puzzles and solitaire. And
there we go. Now you're hooked.
Yeah, now I'm hooked. Well, I wish I would have actually paid attention when this came out because I just renewed my New York Times crossword puzzles subscription, which is $40-some a year I pay just for access to that crossword puzzle. And I would have at least given this Apple Arcade crossword puzzle app a shot before paying that. It's always a hard pill to swallow to pay $40-some for crossword puzzles. So I would have given this a try. So, and then of course my favorite Windows game is Solitaire, and I can play that too.
Excellent. Your dreams come true.
Yeah, and a little farther down, Mini Metro, which is still a better version of Mini Motorways. Yeah,
maybe.
You disagree? Okay.
I don't find the concept quite as appealing, but I think the game is better made than Mini Metro. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Maybe it's nostalgia glasses because I've just played it for so much longer, but...
Yeah, maybe. I just noticed, though, that... So Mini Metro, there are two versions when you search for Mini Metro. There's Mini Metro and Mini Metro with a plus sign at the end of it. But then if you look at something like NBA 2K21, it's actually listed as NBA 2K21 Arcade Edition.
Ooh.
So there seem to be a few different ways that a game can exist in Apple Arcade. I mean, in the App Store.
They should unify that. We're going to go back to the days of having light apps.
Yeah, they still exist. You can still get light apps.
Do they?
But yeah, most of it's gone to just like download it for free and then pay a subscription later or
Right.
unlock something.
Yeah, that was always a mess when there was two versions of every app on the App Store.
Chess and Chess Lite.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I didn't mention, of course, is that if they're on Apple Arcade, it means they're also on Apple TV and on the Mac. So all these games are now cross-platform.
Oh, yeah. That's also an interesting aspect that I hadn't considered.
And it seems to be that Apple Arcade games have to use iCloud. I'm not sure if that is like a listed requirement, but all of them I've tried so far, I have been able to put down on the phone, pick up on the Mac, and it'll have all my progress there. So that's also very nice.
Right.
It's like the dream of having Apple in charge of all the platforms. You pick up on one, you put down on one, you pick up another, and your state transfers.
Yeah. The problem is, well, this shouldn't be a problem. Things like the Apple TV, which does have user accounts, but I'm not going to set up an account for every one of my kids on my Apple TV. So when they play games on the Apple TV, they're just playing on my account.
I guess you just have to hope they play different games from you.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, none of my kids are sitting in the living room playing crossword puzzle on the Apple TV.
Maybe you should get them into that.
Maybe.
It might help them out during school.
Some kind of critical thinking skills, at least.
Yeah. By the way, what's with your hate for the Oregon Trail?
Oh, I don't have any hate for it. It just didn't sound interesting to me.
Really? Have you ever tried it?
I have nostalgia for like the original Apple II version, but I have not played any remakes.
Okay. Was the Apple II version just text-based?
No, it had graphics. Have you not played the original Oregon Trail games?
No, I haven't.
I guess the version I grew up playing, Apple II was a little early for me, so it was like a DOS version of Oregon Trail. And it was mostly uninteresting because you started your journey buying the supplies you need, and then you just kind of traveled a day down the trail and you exhausted resources, or you have to figure out if you're going to wade a river or if you're going to convert your wagon into a boat and go across it. And it's just like little obstacles you encounter along the way. Mostly text-based, except for hunting, which is like the most fun aspect of Oregon Trail, because you got this little character and you'd move them around the screen and you'd shoot your little pixel bullets at whatever animal came across the screen. But other than that, it was a pretty boring game.
Maybe I'm just in the honeymoon phase because it has only been 3 days. See how I am next show. Oregon Trail, that boring piece of junk.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Apple TV, apparently it's quite challenging to get some games playing well, considering that they have to output at 4K, and you'd want to hit at least 30 FPS. And the Apple TV hardware's not young; it's a little bit long in the tooth now.
Yeah. I've definitely seen some stuttering when the kids play the more demanding games on there, like the hot lava game. I've seen it have some missed frames, and yeah, that's too bad that the games don't have the option to downscale. Like you'd hope, even if it's plugged into a 4K TV, they could run at 1080p. I'd prefer that over jittery gameplay.
Yeah, surely it can run at 1080p.
Right.
Like it would be well within its capabilities to do it, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, FPS is usually more important than resolution. And even if we do get a new Apple TV this year, which is seeming more likely based on another topic we're going to talk about today, people are still going to be running the 4K Apple TV 4K and HD, which is still sold on it's still sold by Apple for a long time, you'd expect, considering the refresh cycle seems to be like 4 or 5 years for this hardware. We could be looking at the original Apple TV 4K still in 8 years' time, trying to run a 4K game on... What is it running now? Is it the A9?
A10X is what the 4K has. Yeah.
Okay. At least it's the X model.
Right, yeah. So the A10X was no slouch. I mean, that was an iPad Pro chip.
Yeah. But that kind of takes us into... We can just talk about the next topic, which is something that was discovered by... who was it discovered by? It was posted on 9 to 5 Mac. Let's see if I can give credit where credit is due. Apparently just 9 to 5 Mac found this, so I'm going to guess it's Guillermo Rambo. I found references to 120Hz support in the tvOS 14.5 beta code. So the references are either 120Hz or supports 120Hz. That's a pretty good omen that we are going to see new Apple TV hardware, because they can't just add 120Hz to the current hardware, because it's only a HDMI 2.0 port, but it would need to be 2.1 for 4K at 120.
Yeah.
Promising.
Yeah, I mean, only because it means that they're still putting effort into a new hardware model of the Apple TV. But I think I don't even know when the next time I buy a new TV is. I'm a decade away from even thinking about having a 120Hz television.
You just bought one.
Exactly, yeah. So I am happy to hear that I'll have a new box to plug into it, though, because that sounds much more easy to swallow than Apple dropping support and me having to find a new TV that just has it built in.
Right, yeah, that's what's so reassuring about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an ecosystem that's being dumped.
Yeah.
Well, considering that, and also all this effort being put into Apple Arcade.
Ooh, yeah, maybe those things will go hand in hand, and they'll have this gaming-focused Apple TV with 120Hz and this big Apple Arcade Plus lineup.
Right. What if it started being marketed more as like a console than a TV? Because Apple is putting effort into getting, the actual TV part of the Apple TV, the TV app, onto all the other operating systems anyway. So you don't need an Apple TV to have TV Plus. Right.
Yeah, there is... I mean, it is already basically just a console. There is no TV explicit benefits that you can't get. You can get iTunes or Apple TV Plus on anything. So, yeah, that makes complete sense.
Can you get Apple Music on other TV operating systems?
Maybe not directly, but you can get lots of TVs with AirPlay in them now. So you could at least AirPlay to them.
And also a lot of TVs have browsers. You got Apple Music in the browser.
Ooh, that sounds miserable. Apple Music in the browser on a TV.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, so what if the next Apple TV, it's got like an A14X, it's got HDMI 2.1, or even there are more HDMIs than after that. And it's like the Apple Arcade. What if it's just called the Apple Arcade and it comes with a controller?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe people are hypothesizing the Apple TV's dead because it's actually being rebranded.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first.
There you go. Apple Track better get on this.
Yep. Are they going to list me or are they going to list the show?
They better split us up, because I don't want to be tied into your ridiculous 5 AirTags for $100 prediction.
Oh, that's the contentious point, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We were supposed to be keeping our own little document of prophecies.
Oh, are we?
Didn't we talk about doing that once?
Probably. I tune you out half the time.
Well, I actually gave that to you as an action point, and you didn't complete it, so...
Wait, really?
No.
We'll let our listeners do that.
See if anyone is interested enough to do that. Stick it all up at a URL. So the 14.5 Beta 6 was released as well, and that has a couple of very minor changes. If you'd like to discuss them. Firstly, no. No. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I'm kind of excited about the 14.5 Beta 6 stuff.
Okay.
Well, battery recalibration, I couldn't be less interested in, but
and it's only for iPhone 11s, right?
Yeah, the new Siri voices I like quite a bit.
Okay.
So, first of all, in the setup process for iOS, there's no default Siri voice anymore. You get to pick what voice you want to use, and at least in the US, there's 4 selections now. There's the 2 traditional ones that we've always got that were in the past referred to as male and female voices, but I think they're just like voice 1, 2, 3, 4 now. And then there's 2 new ones that also would probably be recognized as male and female voices. And I went through and listened to all of them, and I'm using a new one.
Okay.
I was kind of really hoping for something really, really different, and like I was going to be able to switch to a male voice, but I ended up going with what just sounded the most natural, and it was their new refined female sounding voice that I ended up going with. I don't know if you got any new ones though. Was that just a US thing?
It seems to be just a US thing, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't actually set up my phone from scratch to confirm that, but
well, you can just change your voices in the settings as well.
Yeah, okay. Clever me.
Yeah.
I'm heading in there now.
All right. Well, I'm going to let my new Siri do the talking, and she can tell you. And you can tell me how you think it sounds, but I think it sounds great. What's 0 divided by 0?
Imagine that you have 0 cookies, and you split them evenly among 0 friends. How many cookies does each person get? C. It doesn't make sense. And Cookie Monster is sad that there are no cookies. And your friends are sad because they don't exist. Oh, wow. This escalated quickly.
Anyway, it's not perfect, but I think it's the most natural sounding voice I've heard so far.
That has to be the top Siri response that you can generate. I cannot think of anything funnier than that Siri says.
She's actually toned it down, because her new response is like, and your friends are sad because they don't exist. But her response used to be, and you're sad because you don't have friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But so now it says your friends are sad.
Yeah. What's 0 divided by 0 is kind of the new where do I hide a body of the initial version of Siri.
Oh, what was the response to that again?
Originally, in 2011 when Siri came out, you could ask her where to hide a body, and she would like do a search for like local dumps and stuff. So.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So.
I've still got just voice 1 and voice 2, so they have been renamed from male and female.
Right. Well, hopefully it's a sign of things to come, and there'll be. I assume this was all like ML-driven voices, and so maybe they'll be rolling that out in other places in the near future.
Yeah. Interestingly, the default Siri voice is voice 2 in Australia, so I don't know if that's something they randomize.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's detected, because what it was the default US Siri voice was voice 4 for me.
Okay. Well, once they stick some Australian through the ML, maybe we'll get something interesting.
Maybe.
It's going to change from Yo Siri to Hey Cobber.
You say Cubba?
Cobber just means friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
There was something else about Beta 6 as well, wasn't there? Battery calibration, new Siri voices. I'm thinking there's one other thing. Am I imagining it?
There's a battery recalibration tool?
Yeah. Not that.
Those are the only things I remember, or that I have heard.
Okay, I must have been imagining that third one. That's all right.
I wonder when we're going to actually see 14.5 come out.
Well, I believe the answer is on the subreddit right now, if you were to go and have a look.
Oh, yeah? What am I looking for?
It was there. I swear to God it was there. Unless it was on the iPhone subreddit. Or it was just deleted, for all I know. Checking the iPhone subreddit. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's on the iPhone subreddit. Top of the iPhone subreddit.
Will
Tim
arrive.
Cook finally reveals iOS 14.5 update will arrive this month. And I haven't read the article to confirm that.
Okay.
To see actually what is the quote.
This is in reference to that interview involving the app tracking policy.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those articles where you have to read all of it to get the one line that you actually want.
Right. And there's
Which I
a dozen ads right in the middle of everything.
it doesn't actually quote him. It just says he confirmed it would arrive this month. So, and actually was the interview this month in April? Well, I guess it had to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't arrive in March.
Yeah.
Anyway, it has been a long cycle, hasn't it?
I guess a lot of this is probably just them getting ready for all the pushback with the new app tracking policies and making sure all their I's are dotted and T's are crossed before launching it, and probably also giving developers as much time as possible to support these new policies. But yeah,
that's right.
It does feel like it's been a really long time.
And those topics have been really high up on the subreddit recently, but I tend not to stick them in the show because we have talked about it before, and also I don't find it all that interesting, nor do I know much about the topic, so I tend to ignore them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just more of Facebook complaining.
Yeah.
It is too bad that some really useful features are kind of being held hostage alongside this new policy. It's like, people could have been unlocking their phones with a face mask on for the last month and a half, but
right,
they've been holding it up because Facebook's complaining. But hopefully, the new version of iOS will be announced as part of whatever this keynote is this month. Maybe they're waiting because they want to demo something in the keynote and then say, and it'll be out today.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for an event this month.
Yeah, I need something. It's been too long.
You need it.
Uh-huh.
Like a druggie, you just need a fix.
That's exactly right.
I'm James VDM on Reddit and on Twitter.
And I'm Jellywoot on Reddit and Twitter.
And you can find the show notes at reddit.com/r/theRAppleShow. Was a little bit light on topics, but we managed to get there.
Yeah, we're still over an hour.
Yeah. I'm wondering if pulling the show back a day, doing it early, is going to perhaps tend to that. Although we do, have like 2 weeks of topics to do, but I guess, did you guys have a public holiday today for you?
No. What would the holiday be for?
Oh, okay. You don't get Easter Monday off?
Oh, no. That's not like a national holiday or anything.
Right, okay. I was thinking that might have been the cause for not many topics come out in the last, couple of days, but because often for me, I find on my Monday, there's like zero news because North America hasn't done anything for the weekend.
Right.
So I thought that might be the case if you guys all had a holiday on Monday.
It's just you guys, apparently, that like to celebrate the day after holidays, right? Because you get Easter Monday and you get Boxing Day.
Yep.
So these are all new concepts to me.
Say one of your holidays did land on a Sunday, would you get Monday off?
Yeah, if it was a federal holiday, it would be recognized on Monday.
Yeah, see?
Okay, yeah, I guess we just don't recognize that many religious holidays. I think Christmas is a federal holiday, but we don't have any other off the top of my head, religious holidays that are recognized at the federal level.
Yeah, right. How many national holidays do you have each year?
Like half a dozen. Let me look. So, New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr., like a President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Pretty
7, 8,
equivalent then.
9. Yeah.
Let's see. We've got New Year's Day, and then the New Year's Day holiday, Australia Day, Labor Day, Good Friday, Easter Monday, Anzac Day, WA Day, Queen's Birthday, Christmas Day, and then the day after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
WA Day, Western Australia Day.
Yeah, this was state holidays,
okay,
but including national holidays as well. So
I see.
Yeah,
man, I wish we had state holidays. I guess there is a Kansas Day. I remember celebrating that in school, but it wasn't like a day off.
Yeah, maybe you should start petitioning for that.
No, Kansas Day was always the best days of school. Because
you do nothing at school with all your friends?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like there was always just activities to do. It was like settler themed, so I can't even remember any activities now. I remember eating buffalo burgers. I remember doing some kind of like weaving thing, and like trying to mill corn to make bread and things like that.
Wow, that sounds like great fun.
It's better than a day of school.
We had book day, and you could dress up as a book character.
Ooh,
I think that's what we did.
Okay,
but of course, you could just wear plain clothes and say you were any character from a book no one had heard of, or that just wore plain clothes. So,
is that what you did?
Yeah, some people really. Or by the end of primary school, I was doing that, but not when I was young and still had imagination. But by the time I was 12, I was old and cynical.
Yeah.
I was actually, I think, scarred by a previous experience. I knew the day was coming up. I thought it was such and such a date. My mum insisted it wasn't that date, but I insisted on going to school dressed up as a ghost, which meant I just had a sheet over my head with eye holes cut out. So I went, and it wasn't the day. No one else was dressed up.
Oh no! You pulled a Dax Flame.
What?
Dax Flame was one of the like original big YouTube channels, like 2006, 2007, like the very beginning days of YouTube. He's a kid at this time, and he started like one of the very first, almost like a vlog. He'd do like a very frequent video journal, but he's got a very interesting personality, and like one of his most famous videos is him going to school dressed as, like, it's actually him in the morning before school dressed as Superman, all excited about going to school for superhero day or whatever. And there's a video of him like that evening crying because it actually wasn't superhero day, and he was mortified. And yeah, but he was one of the biggest channels on YouTube.
Really?
Initially.
And he was a school age kid.
Yeah, I don't get a feel for exactly how old he is. Maybe like middle school aged, so preteen. But yeah, when he got a bit of a movie career after getting big on YouTube. He was in a couple movies. Project X he was in, and 21 Jump Street. And then he just kind of disappeared for years and years until iDubbbz made a documentary about him last year.
And where is he now?
Well, he was working at an ice cream shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah, that's a slight change.
Yeah. Well, the rekindled fame from iDubbbz drawing attention to his channel again. He's kind of kickstarted his YouTube channel again, and he's posting videos frequently, and he's trying to make it he's making a smoothie themed game show on there right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, but a very classic video. I thought you would have got the reference.
Sadly not. I'll have to look it up. So homework is Dax Flame and Spaceballs.
There you go. Yeah.
And your homework is to re-listen to every single show and write down everything we've predicted since the beginning.
That would be There actually are some surprising moments. I've had times where I've thought that I would re-listen to all our shows and made it into the first half dozen or so. And even just in those first half dozen episodes, there are things we predicted 3.5 years ago that did come true.
Yeah, you've mentioned them before.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but...
Yeah, I don't have any off the top of my head
amazing.
either. So I'll get a whole collection together and I'll submit it to Apple Track so that we can have a real score on their website.
Okay. Except ours is just based on guessing. So I'm not sure our percentage is going to be too high. And are you going to submit all the things that didn't come true as well? Or just the ones that did come true? So we have 100%.
Yeah, everything that did come true, we were 100% serious about. And the things that didn't come true was just us being ridiculous and joking during the show. And obviously that wasn't a real prediction.
Yeah, you can tell by the tone.
Right, exactly.
Which ones we're serious about.
Right.
And also that they came true.
I'm serious that you are dead wrong that you're going to get 5 AirTags for $100.
I can't wait for them never to be released.
There was this was maybe a couple weeks ago, a rumor that priced AirTags at $40 a piece.
They're going to sell as many AirTags as they are AirPod Maxes or HomePods.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be buying AirTags in 10 years, which came with the original firmware, if they're $40 each. 40 US each.
Right. Yeah, so what, $50 for you?
It's actually pretty good at the moment, so yeah, it's probably 50, 60 or in between there.
Okay. I think that's expensive, but I think 3 for $100 is right where it's at.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad, but I'm just hoping for better.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about the price of the new Apple TV. Well, that might be, but save that for another week, I guess.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Hopefully it's not too much more than the $150 or whatever it is currently.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing more. Although if it's repositioned as a console, then it could well be.
Yeah, if they pivot it to be going against the PlayStation and Xbox, there's some degree of they have to price it higher just so it's perceived as more of a competitor,
yeah.
you know?
Right.
I mean, if you put an A14X in an Apple TV, which the M1 is basically an A14X with a couple extra computer-specific bits added to the architecture.
Yeah, like Thunderbolt and...
Yeah.
What else?
So, an A14X in an Apple TV is basically a Mac Mini.
Mm.
So, I don't know what that means, except maybe they just... Apple TV's dead, but you can plug the Mac Mini into a TV and it'll run tvOS.
Suddenly you can dual boot a Mac Mini into iPadOS, iOS, and tvOS.
Well, we'll go back to having... you remember Front Row? It'll basically be that, except the whole tvOS will come up.
Amazing. I'm going to have to start remuxing all my MKVs into MP4s again. That's a blast from the past.
That actually wouldn't work too bad, except it'd just be too expensive. You don't need to spend $1,000 for a box for your TV, but
yeah,
otherwise, good prediction.
I've just been staring at my Google image search for Dax Flame this whole time.
You find some interesting things?
Oh no, I haven't touched it. I haven't scrolled.
Oh, you're just looking at pictures of Dax's face.
The same dozen pictures, yeah.
Yeah. I bet that video
He's got the kind of face where his hairstyle would dictate his age, not his face. Yeah.
I bet that video of him will be one of the very first things in your image search. Him in a Superman costume.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there you go.